In the heart of a silent, snow-covered forest far from the noise of cities and the touch of roads, a lone man puts the finishing touches on his greatest creation, a hand-built wooden cabin. The air is still and biting cold with each breath, turning to mist as he moves with calm precision across the roof, carefully laying each wooden shingle into place. Every tap of his hammer echoes through the trees, the sound of human persistence meeting the wild. This is not just a structure, it's a shield against the wilderness, a wall between man and nature's most unforgiving side. Each piece of wood carries a story. Every beam, every plank was once part of the forest that surrounds him. Days ago, he began with nothing but his tools, his willpower, and the endless supply of fallen trees scattered across the frozen ground. With powerful swings of his axe, he split the massive logs one by one. The rhythmic thud of steel striking would fill the forest air, a sound of determination, of purpose, a growing pile of neatly cut timber rose beside him, the raw skeleton of what would soon become a home. He started by digging into the icy ground, marking the corners of his foundation. Then piece by piece, the walls began to rise, solid interlocked logs stacked, carefully sealing together into a barrier of strength. His motions were deliberate, each adjustment guided by experience and instinct. Between the cracks, thin trails of frozen breath drifted into the air as he worked in silence, save for the occasional call of a distant bird. At times he would pause beside a small, crackling fire, warming his hands and sharpening his tools. The flames reflected off his face, revealing both exhaustion and quiet satisfaction. The work was slow and grueling, but progress was steady. He lifted beams into place, cutting and measuring by hand, fitting every piece perfectly without the help of machine. His saw bit through the wood with a steady rhythm, each motion building something permanent, something meaningful. As the walls reached their final height, the outline of the cabin took shape, a strong, grounded presence amid the vast whiteness. To block the cold winds, he stretched a temporary plastic sheet over an opening, working by the dim glow of the firelight as evening fell. The next morning, frost glittered on every surface, but the man continued undeterred. Smoke rose from his campfire as he drilled wooden pegs and joined beams, using traditional mortise and tenon joints, ancient methods that needed no nails or screws. Only precision and patience. From inside the frame, the forest appeared framed like a painting scene through the gaps that would soon become doors and windows. He began crafting a sturdy door frame, chiseling and carving by hand, shaping each joint until the pieces fit seamlessly. The sound of carving mixed with the crackle of fire craftsmanship needing endurance. Inside, he laid the floorboards one by one, thick planks placed tightly across strong beams. For the first time, his feet rested on something solid and level, no longer cold earth, but the foundation of a real home. The cabin now felt alive, full of warmth and purpose. From the outside, it stood proudly among the snowy pines, a blend of strength and simplicity. He hung the wooden door, its hinges creaking softly as it closed for the first time, sealing out the freezing air. But no home in the wild is complete without one. He cut a neat circle through the wall and installed a metal stove, connecting it to a small iron stove in part of the cabin. Soon smoke curled upward through the chimney, and a gentle orange glow spread across the wooden walls. Inside, he added a handmade table, its legs carved from leftover logs, and a flat stump to serve as a stool. Every item, every surface was shaped by his own hand from the very forest that surrounded him. Finally, he filled the last gaps in the walls with small chunks of wood and packed snow, sealing his cabin completely airtight. Outside, snow began to fall again, silent, steady, endless. Inside, firelight flickered against the timber walls, warm and golden. He sits quietly beside the stove, listening to the wind outside. He has not only built a shelter, he has built peace, comfort, and a home in the heart of the frozen wilderness.